It's official, summer is here and millions of Americans are getting ready to fly out on vacation. But with fewer TSA agents on hand and airports expected to be busier than ever, are you prepared for the stress? There's always stress. Jeanenne Tornatore joins us now, a travel expert, to give us her best tips. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. So let's go over, first of all, it seems like every year we have this conversation of more people expected to fly, but it's true. And then you have fewer and fewer agents.
That's right. You almost, I think, they have to think of summer travel like you do when you're traveling over those busy holiday weekends around Thanksgiving and Christmas. So all of those same kind of strategies should apply when you're booking and when you're heading to the airport. Number one, try to book the first flight out in the morning. Statistically, they are more on time. Your flight is more likely to be at the gate when you get to the airport. And
so frustrating when there's a delay.
Exactly. And the TSA lines are much shorter, so you don't have all those problems that just tend to compound throughout the day. So book the first flight of the day. Also, if you've already booked your flight and you're headed to the airport, prepare yourself, arrive early, and, use everything you have as a resource. I think the number one thing is to really, those 2 hours that they say to arrive early is more critical than ever this summer. So make sure that you're keeping that in mind, the same as you would over a holiday weekend.
Especially when it's busier. And you also say make sure you check those connections too. There are a lot more automated things we're seeing at the airports, especially screening lines. That's reducing wait times, but does it make it harder for some people when you don't have an agent there to, talk to, ask a question, whatever the case may be?
Sure. Well, I think that the key, again, is just you have to get there prepared early so that you can get through that process as seamlessly as possible.
All right, let's talk about TSA PreCheck, because this is something that's been very popular in the last few years. I have it. We were talking about this in the commercial break. I find it saves a significant amount of time, but you say that they might be changing some things associated with it, right?
Well, the TSA is saying that they haven't seen the enrollment numbers that they've expected over the years and the re-enrollment numbers, so they're really reassessing how they're putting this out there and how they can gain more travelers using this to streamline the process. It's interesting because over Memorial Day weekend, that Friday of the holiday weekend, they say that 91% of TSA PreCheck users had less than a 5-minute wait. So they want to continue to streamline that. And they're looking at doing things like making it easier for people to enroll, having some type of mobile enrollment, and maybe even changing the fee structure.
Why do you think people aren't wanting to use it? I mean, I think it's so helpful.
I think it's a no-brainer. I think that, people maybe see that $85 and, that for 5 years. So one of the things they're looking at is potentially changing that, making it less of a time commitment so that people can try it out and see that it really does work, because frankly, I've been using it since it came out, and it really is a game changer when you're headed to the airport.
There's a couple more tools that you can utilize too. We were talking about global entry, which I want to do. I haven't done it yet because it's one of those things that requires you to physically be there, and that's a time constraint for a lot of people. So there's global entry, and the other one I found helpful is mobile passport for when you're entering the country.
Absolutely. Both of those, if you're a global traveler, are really helpful, and again, can just streamline that process, make it much quicker for you. But as you said, it's one of those things where when you first enroll, you have to go in person. TSA PreCheck has had that as well. When you very first enroll, there is an interview process. So that's one of the things they're looking at with that mobile enrollment, potentially changing that and making it easier for travelers.
Okay. Thank you very much for joining us.
My
Appreciate
pleasure.
it. Happy travels.